The truth about noir is this is what it's all about. We've got enough guys blogging in their basements about guns. And then on the other side, you've got a bunch of Ivy League grads with more education and personality writing their dime a dozen hipster critiques about shit they don't understand. Namely, this. You wanna know the truth about noir? The truth is, I can't stand the media's representation of my generation. I mean, the mass-produced, whiny demographic oozed out of the bowels of New York, LA, San Francisco 1%, and handed their so-called careers so they can echo the pet causes of their guilt-ridden rich parents. That's not how we get down in Texas. The truth is, if you can't appreciate the diverse beauty of America, where the people are free to enjoy the thrill of this, then you're either too old to remember, or you have no idea how to feel young, because this is a feeling. It's everything so-called millennials claim they want. It's power, beauty, an unrestricted expanse that is undeniably cool, even without the mainstream pop culture validation that we gun owners claim to loathe, but secretly desire. Let it go. Let it burn in the hells of its own insecurities. Come out here and feel the real truth about guns. If you still don't get what noir is about, just go back to your basement of unmitigated insecurities or your brownstones of self-loathing and overcompensation, and not a damn thing ever changed. But I think for some of you, it will. And I think that's what the rest of you are so scared of. So Amy.
So Colion.
What's the truth about Amy?
I became a gun owner myself 4 years ago when I got a gun for my Christmas present from my father. Grew up my whole life shooting guns with him, but owning a gun was really something that my dad did, my granddad did, you know. And it wasn't until I got that first gun that it kind of changed my whole perspective on what a gun owner means. I suddenly felt like very empowered, and I felt like I'm getting to take my security and my self-defense into my own hands. And that was very empowering and exhilarating for me.
It's interesting you say that because I talk to a lot of people now, especially people who've known me before any of this, and then know me now. Now they feel comfortable because they know me, coming to me and talking about the gun world and stuff like that.
Sure.
And when we say the gun world, and I hate saying it sometimes because it seemingly makes it so distant, kind of like the gun world. Like the price of admission is you have to know this, you have to know this, you have to know this, and you have to know this.
That's how I felt, and we talked about that. At the very first, I'm like, I don't know, I'm a gun owner, but I am not in that world. Like, I thought it was a world. I thought it was a group of people, a community that I wasn't necessarily a part of because I didn't know everything there was and still don't know everything there is to know about guns. But what I've realized is I am still a part of that group that is very pro-Second Amendment, pro-gun rights. And it's been so fun watching this transition with all of my friends who have now come out of like the gun closet after they've watched the first couple episodes, and they can't wait to tell me about the gun that they own, or they can't wait to say, I want to go with you to that really cool gun range that you were talking about the other day. So this has been very fun and exciting for me, and it just opened up a lot of new doors. And
then that brings out another point is, for people on the other side, they look at this and they're like, wait a minute, what are you doing? You're glorifying an evil, violent, dangerous tool. And I get it. I do. It's from a position of ignorance.
Right.
But I understand it. I understand the misconceptions. And I mean the people who are intellectually honest about it. Not the people who have an agenda and are trying to force feed information down people's throats so they can get their way. I'm talking about people who are genuinely like, yeah, I don't know. But when you take it out of the context of seeing guns utilized in violent movies, seeing guns on the news because some guy decided to rob someone or somebody killed someone or there was a home invasion or some nut job walks into a school and kills up a ton of kids, those things are wretched, they're disgusting, they're violent, they're horrible. However, that gun put in the hands of somebody else who's actually responsible, who actually does the right things, which is the majority of people on this planet, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be such a big deal when somebody does something wrong with the gun. Taking that and putting it within the context of recreation, enjoyment, and really going out and experiencing shooting for what it is.
That's the thing too that I think of is I'm like, we're not here to glorify anything other than the enjoyment of it, and the fact that we have a right to own firearms.
Exactly.
And the people that want to demonize us and think that we're doing something other than that, they're wrong. They're just flat out wrong.
And they are. But there are some people out there and some media outlets out there who feel like their voice is the only voice, and that if you don't look at guns the way that they do,
right,
then you're not a real gun person.
There's nothing
You're
wrong
just a
with thinking
poser.
that guns are cool. Even if Hollywood, they want to speak out against it, they're still making guns cool in the movies.
You know what? You bring up another good point. I want to address some of that in our next segment.